Water. 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 Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished.
What's going on, everybody? Critical Eye here. Once again, my name is Kevin.
I'm Drew.
I'm Chris.
And today, we're going to be talking about a movie we've been waiting for since... When did the first one come out?
2009.
2009. Movie we've been waiting for 13 years. Avatar, The Way of Water.
Can I just, real quick, this is the first video we're filming in the new year?
Yes.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year,
guys.
As we are recording, it's January 2nd right now.
Yeah.
So Happy New Year, everyone.
The other video that's coming out, the Whale and the Glass Onion one,
Yes.
the one that I hosted, we did that right before
the New Year. That was last week sometime.
So that'll come out,
Well, now
obviously, in the new year, but this is the first one. Even if it comes out after, this is the
Yeah.
first video we're recording in the new year.
Well, now you're putting pressure on us to get the whale one out.
Good.
Yeah. Come on, Chris. That one was long. That was a long
I'm not editing
video.
it, so I'm just...
Yeah.
It's okay, you can finish it.
Chris isn't editing, so he doesn't care about time frames.
Yeah.
But that's like an
I'm
hour.
not editing that one.
That one, to be fair, is a very long video. It's
That's like an hour 45.
hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, because
That's, I think, our longest.
Yeah.
We did
no,
two.
No,
we did two. No, we've had one over 2 hours, I think.
Have we?
I don't remember 2
Was
hours.
it Everything
I know
Everywhere?
Jurassic World was a long one because we
Well,
talked
that's
about
good,
all
yeah.
6 movies.
Well, that might be the longest Jurassic World.
Yeah, that might be the longest. But we do go into a lot of detail with The Whale and Glass Onion, so definitely take a look at that one.
Both great movies.
Both great movies. But today we are talking about Avatar, The Way of Water.
Not so much.
Now, huh?
What?
I said not so much.
Not so much what?
A great movie. Okay. A great movie.
Oh, I thought you were talking about...
Did I say great movie?
He just said movie.
You said, no, you're saying the other movies were great, and then you said, but today we're talking about Avatar, and I said not so much. I was
I didn't understand
making
what you were talking
a
about.
callback.
I feel you.
You can take that out. It's okay.
So we already know
Yeah.
Chris's opinion.
Yeah, we already know Chris's opinion. It's probably like a 2 out of 5. But
You don't know me.
we don't know. We'll check it at the end. But quick breakdown of what the movie's about. Spoiler alert, although you should know this already. It's been a couple years since Jake Sully beat... What the hell's his name? Colonel
Sanders.
Yeah, Colonel something.
Stephen Lang.
I just know him as Stephen Lang.
Yeah.
to be
Steven,
honest.
we'll just call
Colonel
him Stephen
Stephen
Lang
Lang.
for right now.
Yeah.
Colonel Lang.
Yeah,
It's been a couple years. They don't actually say how many years it was, but I think it was somewhere it was 10.
It's somewhere like between 5 and 10, I think.
It's
Yeah.
4 kids worth.
But the kids, I think the kids grew up faster.
It's
Fair. But then there's also Spiders. So
3
Spiders
kids
also
and an
older.
adopted kid worth.
Yeah, Spider's also kind of older. He's like in his 20s, right? So
No,
it
he's
could
the,
be-
like
act,
around-
the actor's in his 20s, but
I think
the
he's supposed to be around
characters,
their age.
yeah, like adult, like between like 14, 16-ish,
Fair.
I think.
So then, it's been a couple years. It's been at least over 10 years. Jake Sully's got 4 kids. As you know from the first movie, he transferred his consciousness into the Avatar body with the tree of whatever.
Life, knowledge. What was it called?
The spirit tree, was it?
The giving tree. The giving tree.
Awa?
It gave him life.
Yeah.
Awa.
Yeah, the Awa thing.
Yeah.
So he...
The sex tree. That's all I remember from the first movie.
What?
That sounds really bad now that I said
Oh,
that.
the sex scene, yeah.
The hair
No,
thing.
I'm sure
it was that tree.
I'm sure there's more significance to this tree than Jake Sully got some cheeks there. But... So, basically, he transferred his consciousness into the tree, or into the body, the new body of the Avatar. It's been a couple years, he's grown a family, he's been a leader of his people for a while now. In the first movie, you may remember, he did kill the Colonel. And then in this movie, it turns out that they actually sent copies of their consciousness back to Earth, so that they can build new avatars, put their consciousness in, and they can come back and have revenge on Jake Sully and the rest of the avatars. I'm going to call them avatars. I don't know the specific word for them.
Navi.
The Navi?
Yeah.
Well, that's their specific tribe.
No, that's the race.
No,
Yeah,
that's the tribe.
The
right?
race is Navi.
The race is Navi.
Yeah, but the ones from
The forest people.
Yeah, but the ones from the ocean are different too, right?
Those are the water Navi.
They call them water Navi.
Water
The
Navi?
ones from the forest are the tree Navi.
Yeah, the tree Navi.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the actual name, but that's
I
how
know.
I've been just...
We'll just call them tree and
Separating
water
them.
Navis.
Yeah.
So they came back as avatars to the Na'vi, and they were supposed to come and like have revenge on the original Na'vis and Jake Sully. So they showed back up. Lots changed, you know. It's been a couple of years, so Jake Sully's like obviously the leader now. He has a couple kids. Him and his wife are still married. You know, and he comes back, hell bent on revenge. Finds out he has like a son. Finds out that Jake Sully has kids. And it's basically a revenge story, sort of. It's not as big of a scale as the first one, I think, because the first one was more of like a war between the Sun people, right? Isn't that what they call them?
The Sky people.
The Sky people and the Na'vi. This one's more of like a more intimate sort of Jake Sully versus the Colonels type movie, where he's specifically hunting down Jake Sully.
Yeah.
He's killing people on the way.
Well, on the side, also trying to get a new form of unobtainium, which is such a stupid name for a... Remember the first one?
Really?
Yeah, remember
the
they were getting
crystals they were looking for?
They were in the
Yeah.
first one, and then this one they were getting stuff from inside the... Well, James Cameron says they're not whales,
I thought this
but...
one was a little different, where they're actually saying that flat out that Earth needs to relocate to this planet.
Yeah, I think they said that once or twice. Is like Earth is kind of like a barren wasteland now, so they need to relocate, and they're trying to use Pandora as like a relocation. But if they show up, the Na'vi are not going to be happy about that. So the Na'vi might fight back. So they need to exterminate these Na'vis before they, you know, move in, before they show up on these different spaceships. So that's kind of like a basic rundown. We'll go through more specifics throughout the video.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a basic rundown of what's going on. It's more of like a Jake Sully and his family versus the Colonel and these. And it's not just the Colonel that they uploaded the consciousness of. The bald soldier from the beginning, he's also in there. A few of the older soldiers. He's like a bald guy. He was one of the lead. I forgot.
He was
his
very
name.
small. He was a very minor character.
Yeah, he's a minor character, but he was also like the one right under the Colonel. Or he was like one of the soldiers that he took into battle that was very trigger happy. So, like, he was a very good soldier because he was just like, just kill everyone.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so they uploaded his consciousness. They uploaded a few other people's consciousness into these, like, different avatars. So there's, like, a kind of an army of avatars now that are going after Jake Sully.
Also, Sigourney Weaver's character is...
Yes, Sigourney Weaver, it comes back as basically, like, her daughter.
Yeah.
Right? They said
They're
that
not-
she's her daughter.
Do they ever really explain what...
It's an immaculate conception.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
Sigourney Weaver's playing like a 13-year-old.
She's playing Jesus. That's pretty much what it is.
They're not even. I think they said they're not even really sure how that happened.
I don't know. I thought when you said Sigourney Weaver was in the movie, and then I saw her like actually in that flashback, I was like, "Oh, that's probably all she is." And then I realized she's actually the voice of the younger girl.
The whole time it was weird to me because she's playing a teenager, but I can hear her voice, and I know her.
Yeah.
And,
Well, you don't.
and I don't know her, but I know her. I know her movies is what I'm. So it was really weird to me because I know she's like a 70-year-old woman.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's like 70.
Let's explain that just a little bit,
Yeah.
so that they don't think we're just talking about like some random Na'vi. Jake Sully has 4 kids now. One of them is adopted. The adopted one is the daughter of, her name was Claire from the first one, I think, played by Sigourney Weaver. He has another daughter named Took.
No, that's the son.
No, Took is the youngest daughter.
Oh, I thought that was the son.
And then he has 2 sons. He has the oldest son, and then the younger son.
Yeah,
Steven?
I struggled remembering all the new Na'vi names, to be honest.
I only
know
remember
all of
Took
them.
because I think in Canada that's what they also call like the beanie hats. They call them toques.
Oh, I don't know. I've never been to Canada.
I'm pretty sure it's that.
We're fine.
Okay. Don't worry, Chris. We're not going to die. It's not an alarm.
We're
Took
only
is-
2 days in.
Yeah, Took is like the only one I remember because she's like the easiest one to remember. Took and Spider are like the only
Oh
two
yeah,
that I remember.
Spider.
But Spider's not. Spider's not a Na'vi.
Kira, I remember Kira because they kept saying her name.
Which
That's
one's
Sigourney
Kira?
Weaver.
Oh, that's what her name was.
okay.
Kira or Kiri or something like that.
Oh,
I
is
closed
that-
the door. How did she get down?
Well, obviously you didn't close it enough, or she knows how to open doors, Chris. She probably knows how to open doors. She's a very smart dog.
There's a dog outside the door right
Yeah,
there.
right outside the door.
If she comes in, she's gonna ruin
Right
the
outside
green
the
screen.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
never mentioned this by the way. The green screen.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. This is our first video.
It's sponsored
Drew
to you
here.
by Green Screen. Big green
Yeah.
screen.
Drew here has a great brother who decided to buy him a green screen for the podcast for Christmas.
Thank you, brother.
So thank you,
Thank
brother.
you, brother.
Are we okay to say his name?
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother of Drew, for the new green screen. As you can see, we are on. Are we on Pandora right now?
I don't know.
We'll figure it
We're
out.
in
We'll be
McDonald's.
somewhere, yeah, we'll be-
McDonald's.
We're somewhere that's not usually
McDonald's.
where we are. And I promise you, it's not a green slime. We're just like somewhere.
Oh, who knows? Maybe I can't. Maybe we'll be able to figure it out. It'll just be green the whole time.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. So we are somewhere different than we are,
Whoa.
normally.
Just someone's gonna put something really obscene there, and I'm just doing this now.
Yeah. But we do have a green screen now, so this is gonna be a lot better than not better, but it'll be a lot more fun because we can actually have fun with the background instead of having just like a wall. So this will be cool.
Yeah. It should be
Thank
fun. Should
you
be-
again, Drew, for letting us use it.
Well, yeah, it's a point.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, Drew, and thank you, Drew, brother,
Yes, and thank you, brother
Thank,
Drew.
thank you, brother Drew.
brother Drew,
brother Drew.
brother Drew, and brother of Drew.
But yes, we do
Brother
have a
Kevin?
green screen now. Thank you,
It's a brother Kevin.
brother Kevin. But
We're also monks now.
yeah, back to the movie though. He has 4 kids. One of them is named Took. One of them, he said, his name what?
Kira, something like that. Yeah.
And then he has 2 boys that I really don't remember their names.
I couldn't tell the difference between them either. To be honest.
Really?
Like half the time I was like, which
Bill.
one is this?
Oh, I
Bill.
remember them. I don't think it's Bill. I think the Navi can come up with
Sven.
something better than Bill.
Sven.
That's already a horse, or not a horse. What is?
Was it a
moose?
A
horse?
reindeer.
A reindeer
From
in,
Frozen.
Is that what? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's not a horse. It's a reindeer. Yeah.
Finkel.
All right, guys. We're not gonna keep coming up with names. So.
I don't know.
So, he has 4 kids. The oldest brother, who he's kind of like trying to be the leader of his siblings. The younger brother, who's kind of like the rebel, who's like, I don't need him to watch me. I do what I want. And then the 2 younger sisters, who one of them is just like the really, really young one. And the older sister is like finding her way in
water.
the world. Yeah, in the water world now. And she, I think, is probably the most interesting
The
part of this
Sigourney
movie.
Weaver one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, because she's pretty much they don't know how she was born.
Yeah.
Like the original Sigourney Weaver Avatar dies, and somehow shortly after the events of Avatar 1, it gets pregnant,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then however many months later, a little Navi pops out.
Yeah, I think what they may be trying to do here is that the way when Sigourney Weaver died is because she got shot on a helicopter, but then they tried to transfer her consciousness into her avatar.
It didn't work because they were
It
too
didn't.
late.
Yeah, it didn't work. So what might be happening is that either she was pregnant before she died, and when they tried to transfer her consciousness, they couldn't, but they transferred the baby. And then because she was trying to connect with Iwu, is it Iwu?
Iwa.
Iwa. Yeah,
Iwa?
yeah.
Awa? They might be trying to play it that she's like a piece of Awa. Like she's
Connected
to Awa. Because the way they do it in the movie, she's connecting to everything. Like
yeah.
she's a badass in this movie. Like she
Do you
connects
think
to anything. She
in
can
the
just
next-
touch something, she's there.
Next movie or whatever, they're gonna be like, oh, we figured it out.
I hope they.
I mean, I hope they
expand-
connect it, yeah.
Yeah, because that was really like the most interesting part of the movie. I thought
Yeah,
was
I
this
agree.
like just like not virgin child, but this this
Like Virgin Mary.
Virgin
kinda.
Mary,
Immaculate
right,
Conception.
yeah, the Immaculate Conception, yeah.
Yeah. She was very interesting to see because
And
she was also being like made fun of by all
Yeah.
the other. Like they were very different from everybody else. Like they had all 5 fingers instead
which
of
I didn't
3.
realize was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the 5 finger was a thing.
I was like
Yeah.
really distracted because then I kept trying to look at like the tree Navis, like their hands the entire time because they're like they have 5 fingers. I'm like, how many fingers do the other ones have? And I kept trying to look the whole time, but they were like I could never see their hands.
Yeah. Also, you both watched this movie when it first came out, right?
yeah, like the first
opening
week,
weekend.
opening weekend.
Like not the second movie, the first movie.
Yeah, I
Oh
watched
yeah,
the opening
I
weekend.
saw the first movie when it came out as well in theaters.
I saw also IMAX in 3D, which is what
That's
you
how.
and I saw the second one in.
Yeah, I also saw the first one like that when I was a kid too.
I did too, yeah.
I saw the first one like a week or 2 before I saw the second one. I managed
You saw the first
not
one?
watch I managed to not watch the first one this entire time, even after everybody's talking about it like nonstop. and then I watched the second one like a week or two later.
People have only been talking about it because the new one was announced. Like I haven't heard anything about it in the last 7 or
Like
8
10
years.
years. Yeah.
Well, I've been hearing everything because they're like, oh, it's holding the top spot for like the highest grossing movie. Every time another big movie comes out, it's like, oh, is it gonna pass Avatar?
I
But
do-
That's the only thing people talk about. 'Cause
I do remember, like Jax Films did a video a few years ago where he went to like I think it was must have been like the Santa Monica Pier, and he was like, "Do you remember any of the characters' names from Avatar? If you can remember, you get a cash prize." And people were like,
the only one I remember is Jake Sully because
"Yeah, that's the only."
Yeah.
But what is
because we don't remember
what
the
is
clown's name. We don't remember his wife. What's his wife's
Zoe
name?
Saldana. What was her
That's the
name?
actress's name.
I
What's the
know.
character's name?
Something with an N, like
Natiri? No.
Might be-
Natiri?
might
It
be
was
Natiri.
Natiri.
It might be
You
Natiri,
win the
yeah.
cash prize. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Oh! Where's my money, Jack?
yeah. But yeah, it's been a while since the first one came out, and I thought a good thing for us to talk about is how you thought the effects held up in the second one, how they compared to the first one, how the effects in the first one compared to today. Because I thought they were actually pretty good in the first one.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're good in the
Yeah.
first one. I like.
I think they're. Sorry, you can finish.
Honestly, I think the effects actually still hold up in the first one.
Yeah.
I think they're like. I think it's still. I mean, when I rewatched it on like a laptop. I think it still looks good, for the most part. I don't think it all holds up. I mean, it holds up pretty well, but I don't think it's all as amazing as it was when I first saw it.
Yeah.
In 2009, and also I was a kid, so I was really easy to please.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh,
my
look at
God.
all the colors.
Blue people. Whoa.
Yeah. But now as an adult, I think I'm more like.
As an adult,
As an adult, I'm more.
As an adult.
As an adult, I'm more. Well, also because I took some like digital media classes and I watch a lot of like stuff about special effects. There's a channel I watch on YouTube called Corridor Crew or Corridor Digital.
Yeah, they're good. I like them.
Yeah, and they do a lot of like reacting to special, good and bad CG and special and stunts and stuff like that. And so I think as an adult, because I've had like exposure to a lot of stuff, I'm more critical of like the way things look, because I also understand it, not entirely, but more than I did as a kid. And so I remember watching the first one and like when the Colonel's first in his like robot mech suit in the beginning, you can tell that he's like kind of like super like CG in there. It's not really him. It's just something about it looks a little off.
Yeah, it's what I thought about Iron Man for a long time when he
Oh,
has
the
like
face?
Yeah, when he has like the suit on but not the helmet. I always thought like, oh, that just looks weird. It looks like he's obviously wearing like some kind of green suit and they like use special effects to put the suit on him.
Yeah.
Which obviously they're not going to make like an entire Iron Man suit.
No.
So it's
Well-
going to look like that. It just always did look weird to me.
Well, it's like in like superhero movies, a lot of times when the characters are flying, or like in Black Adam when he's like gliding like in like an upright position, but he's gliding across screen. He was on a platform, and then they keyed it out.
I've never seen Black Adam. That's why
Not a spoiler. It's
No,
just
I know.
Yeah.
I've never. So I don't know what you're talking about because I've never seen.
You're
it.
not missing much, and
You're not
you're
missing-
not going to miss much anymore because they got rid of that.
Yeah.
But I think this one, again, we saw it in IMAX and 3D. I think the 3D was like really good.
3D was fine. Yeah, it was
I
good,
thought it
yeah.
was probably some of the best 3D I haven't gone to a lot of 3D movies, but of the ones I have seen, I thought this one was one of the better ones. And obviously, it's had 13 plus years for the
absolutely.
technology to improve.
Yeah.
I know James Cameron patented and created a lot of technology for this movie. So a lot of the underwater stuff they filmed, they actually filmed underwater. They actually did all of the underwater stuff they filmed underwater. So the actors had to learn how to free dive.
Yeah.
And I think Kate Winslet could hold her breath for up to like 7 minutes or something.
Which one was Kate Winslet again?
The mother leader of the water people.
Yeah, the water tribe. She
Oh.
was like the queen, I guess.
queen.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Sigourney Weaver did it for like 6.5 minutes or something, and I'm just like, jeez.
Yeah. It's crazy. I heard about for Black Panther, the guy that played Namor had to hire like a
Learn how to
professional
swim.
diver
Well, he had to learn how
to
to swim.
teach him.
Yeah, he didn't know how
Yeah,
to
he had
swim.
to learn how to swim too. Him and
I think we talked about that in the video.
him and Lupita Longo were like trying to figure out how to breathe better or like not breathe but hold their breath longer underwater.
Yeah.
And it works for some things, like for
Yeah.
this movie, for Black Panther, like having to hold your breath underwater. It works a lot better than like just CGIing you underwater. You know?
No. Yeah, it's practical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I always go for practical over.
But I think Weta Digital, who's the team behind all the effects, and they do like the Marvel stuff, and they do like a lot of. They're one of the biggest, like the special effects companies, and they work on huge movies and tons of them. I think they always do like a really good job.
Yeah.
Did they work on Avatar?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
They do a lot of like the Marvel stuff, and they did the Avatar movies. So like the water, the technology they used for the water stuff in this movie, it's like they brand new.
Yeah, that's part of why it took so long, because James Cameron wasn't satisfied with the water.
No, and
effects.
if you look at it, like the physics of the water is like spot on. It's like really
Yeah.
well done.
It did look really good. I remember
And that's
thinking that.
the scene where he's on like that seahorse thing and the strap.
Yeah.
The way the water like kind of like congeals on top and then falls off is like perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought the water did look great, especially when they were like, playing with all the whales and when they were learning how to ride the things. Just the way that the animals were kind of like,
Kevin.
whatever. I'm just gonna call them whales.
I know they're
'cause
whales.
don't remember
James
what
Cameron
they
said they're not whales, and he got mad at someone. So
are. Yeah, well, who cares? They're whales.
They're space
Who
whales.
cares, James? Yeah.
cosmic
Just
whales.
call them whales. Who cares? Which is actually funny. My friend Dave has always been telling me since he learned that I've been trying to start screenwriting. He's like, Kevin, you need to write me a play about space whaling. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you need to write me a play or like a screenplay where like somebody goes into the space and they do like whaling in space where they like throw spears and stuff like that, space whales. And he wants me to write one, so I think I'm gonna write one or like incorporate them into another one of my scripts because it sounds like an interesting thing, and I can't let Dave down. I gotta do it. But it's yeah, like the water looked great, everything looked great. Like the aqua blue people, the seawater Navi, I think, right?
Yeah.
They look great. Like they had like longer tails
and their
and
hands
like
were a little
thicker
different.
tails, and their hands were webbed.
Yeah,
and
like
their feet were
they
webbed.
evolved differently based on their location, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
Because I know when they first when like Jake and his family first got to that part of Pandora, they're like, you can't live here. You're not gonna know how to like do anything. And they're like, we'll learn.
yeah. They're basically like, you can't do this. Like you're not gonna be able to hold your breath long enough to do anything useful underwater. You're not gonna be able to learn how to ride these things. You're not gonna be able to do this and that. Like learning water took us probably millions of years to learn. It's gonna take you a long time, and by that time you're gonna be useless. So, they almost didn't give them a chance, but then they were like, "Come on, please!" Like, he's like, "I was a former what was he in the first one when he tamed the flying thing?"
Oh, I don't remember what it's called.
He's like some like head honcho.
Yeah,
in the
he-
forest.
He was someone like they like prophesized or something.
Yeah, pretty much. Like in the history of the Na'vi, only like 5 people have tamed this one flying animal, and he tamed it before he went back after being like exiled. But he talks about like how he was like that guy. He was the one that they prophesized before they left, and he was like, now my family's in danger because these other guys are back. These sky people are back. They're looking for me. Like I just want to protect them, and I can do whatever I can. Like he's like, I'm great with defense, with military. I'm great with fighting. So if you need anybody to help,
Turok Makto,
Yeah, the Turok
that's
Makto.
that's
That's
what
it.
it was. Yeah.
which is he after the attack on Home Tree, he regains their trust by flying the predator known as Turok, and
Yeah.
that title is only bestowed upon it says great Na'vi heroes.
yeah.
Turok
Turok Makto. So he was that, and he was telling them like, hey, I've done this before. I can help you with your military. I can help you with defensive things. Fighting. He is like, I can be useful for something, and my kids, they will learn. Like they're not just gonna sit around on their ass. We're gonna make them learn stuff.
The kids, kind of.
Yeah, the kids
They-
were like, oh, no, I have to learn all this shit.
No, I just meant the kids in general. I didn't like the kids.
No,
You
I
don't
like
like the
Sigourney
kids?
Weaver,
I couldn't.
but
I
that
couldn't
was
stand any of them, except Sigourney Weaver was
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
With the brothers, I couldn't stand the little girl's annoying.
I liked them. I thought it was cool to see like the older brother and the younger brother sort of like fighting, and I was like, oh, something bad's gonna happen with these two.
is that getting picked up?
Should I?
It
The
might-
dog, there's dog.
We'll
is
take
what? It's
we'll take
whining.
a quick break so that you can bring the dog upstairs, And we're back. All right, so
That's another clap.
You just didn't look.
no, I know. I ended the
Sorry.
last one with a clap, and I started this one with a clap. So I know.
We had to put the. I almost had to put the dog down. We had to put the dog back upstairs.
Yeah.
Now put the dog
Drew
down.
was nice enough to not kill his dog and actually just bring her upstairs.
I didn't mean to say that.
I'm glad we don't record at your house.
Yeah. We've just kind of come to the conclusion that Drew's dog is Houdini.
Yes.
Because she just keeps showing up.
I closed
Like
the door, but
randomly.
she still somehow got down.
Yeah, she's
Probably
very
didn't close
good.
it.
I heard
Chris
the
just-
click.
Either she's Houdini or Chris just doesn't know how to close a door. But either way, back to Avatar. What were we talking about right before? Do you remember?
We like Sigourney Weaver.
We're talking about the kids.
Yes.
We
the
really
kids.
only like Sigourney Weaver.
You both only like Sigourney Weaver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the little Big Brother thing that they were doing, because I figured something was gonna happen. I didn't know what exactly, but after they literally, so spoiler alert. We're just gonna keep saying it. Right after the scene where they were fighting on the boat, and then he jumped into the water, I turned to Anna. I was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna die." I was like, "He's dying. Watch, he's gonna die." And she was like,
Who'd you think was
"What?"
going to die?
The older brother.
Okay.
Like when the guys were shooting at them and they were jumping into the water from the boat.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
remember
when
that?
they were behind the cover, then they jumped over the railing.
Right before he died, right when they escaped, I was like, "He's gonna die, watch." And she was like, "How do you know that?" I was like, "Just the way they set it up. Obviously he's
I
gonna
thought-
die."
Even throughout the whole movie, like I had heard that someone was going to die in the movie. I didn't know who.
Yeah.
As the movie was going, I was like, the brother doesn't really have much character development. He's probably
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Out of the four siblings, he has the least development, so he's going to be one that goes.
Yeah, that's what.
I knew they were gonna need somebody to die because it's pretty much in every trilogy type where the second one is kind of they just throw more gas onto the fire with this feud between him and the Colonel, and I was like, the Colonel needs to kill somebody.
And
He
that's
needs
when
to
the
kill one
mom
of his
went
people.
crazy.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Zoe
a badass
Saldana.
moment. But before we get to that, I thought it was going to be the mom. I thought he was going to kill the mom because the mom was the one who killed him in the first one. I thought she was going to kill him, he was going to kill her, and then Jake Sully was going to kill him again in the third or fourth, whatever. She's the one who killed him in the first movie.
Yeah.
She shot the arrows at him. And he's been on this, they were even hinting at it throughout the entire movie.
Because they
He
went
was
back
on
to the
this-
site.
Yeah, and he found the arrows, and they were hinting at oh, he's gonna find out that she's the one that killed him, and I thought he was gonna kill her, but no,
Does he ever find out
he did.
that she killed him?
Yeah,
He
because
did, remember, because he found the arrow and he looked at it and then he was like, oh.
yeah, and then
Well,
when
that
they
doesn't. I
well-
mean, he can use arrows too.
he
No, but he
found-
matched the feather
Yeah.
arrow parts to her because
When-
she used the same feathers for all her arrows.
Yeah, when they were on the boat and she was shooting arrows at them, he saw the one that was in the wall. And he was like, oh, "That's her," and he was like, "She's the one who killed me." Rah! And I thought she was gonna kill him, or I thought he was gonna kill her. But then the older brother died. He was my second choice. I was like, "Oh, he might die."
He was your
'Cause,
second choice to die.
Yeah, because I thought the mom was gonna die first. We obviously knew somebody was gonna die, but I was like, I think it's gonna be the mom. If it's not the mom, it's gonna be the older brother, because the older brother was too they were focusing too much on the younger brother,
Yeah.
and I was like, the older brother is a role model for him. So if he dies, the younger brother really needs to step it up, and that could be a big motivator for him to step up and be a bigger role in the third movie. So I thought it would either be him or the wife, because it depended on who they were really going to focus on. And I thought, if it was the wife, they were going to focus more on Jake Sully. But if it was the older brother, then they could focus more on the younger brother and Jake Sully. And then when he died, I was like, that makes more sense to me than the wife. The wife can die later on. But the older brother,
I don't think she's gonna die.
I think she might. She might die. Down the line.
I wouldn't be
Not
surprised
right
if Jake dies in the next one.
now. Oh, Jake, I don't think Jake's going to survive this whole franchise. I don't know about the next one, but I think he's not going to survive all five.
It's really strange how because the first movie they spent the whole time building up Jake Sully and Natiri, I think her name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, they're pretty much just side characters.
Yeah.
Because he said he wanted to focus on the kids.
Yeah, but it's a 13-year gap. Why start over with new characters and confuse the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that direction.
Maybe if Jake dies, they'll replace him with Matt Damon.
Well, I thought it was interesting
know him,
because
alright.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting because he was the student and now he's the teacher. He's teaching his kids now how to become adult Na'vi. And how
Yeah,
to really
well,
defend
I like
themselves.
that, but I just wish that Jake was still a folk because because it's almost like another origin story.
Yeah.
Because the first movie was like Jake's origin story. Now it's his kid's origin story, and we don't really focus on like the story. Like I was way more interested in Sigourney Weaver's Immaculate Conception
Yeah.
than anything else in this movie. Like I was more interested in figuring out what happened there than watching these brothers tussle.
Yeah, I thought they could have definitely focused more on Jake Sully because, like, I was expecting them to do like a whole like Rocky montage where he was gonna be like conquering everything in the water.
Yeah.
Like he was learning how to drive the things. He was learning how to like hold his breath for longer. He was learning how to do
But
this
we
and
don't,
that.
but
all
we
in the
don't really
water.
see him do it that much. We see
Yeah.
him all with the kids.
Exactly. We only saw him, I think, once with the how to ride the flying one
Yeah.
that goes and dives. But that was like the only thing, and I was like, what the hell? You're still like he's still using a gun.
Well, that's cool.
That's okay, but
I
like
don't mind
if
that.
you're really gonna go with the Na'vi, learn how to use a bow and arrow or something. You've been there for years. Why?
Well,
are you
they
still
showed him
using a gun?
teaching. They showed him teaching Sigourney Weaver how to use a bow and arrow.
No, that was his older son, wasn't it?
They did that one too. Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
they did both. I
they
thought
did both.
Yeah, they did both.
Oh, I didn't know they did both. I thought they just did. The
I thought
other
they
son.
did both.
But he taught the rest of the Na'vi, like the tree Na'vi or whatever they call them, how to use like guns and stuff because
That's fair.
they would steal them when like when the convoys came through.
Yeah, because they were still coming. I mean, the gun's gonna be more effective than an arrow.
Guns are definitely
So
more efficient.
Yeah.
It makes sense to try to at least teach
That's
the
right.
Na'vi how to use them.
That's a good point.
And so they literally had like an arsenal full of guns.
Yeah, but if you have a bow and arrow in like his wife's arms, she can kill anybody. Cause like that
Right.
fight scene when she went
Relax,
crazy, I was
Kevin.
like, oh my god. When she shot an arrow through somebody, picked that person up with the arrow, and then shot it still through them into somebody else. I was like, holy shit, that was badass. And then I was like, she's just going insane. I thought she might have
And
a scene like that. But
That's
that's
really
also
the
why I
only.
thought
That's
she was gonna
the
die.
only thing she does. She also takes a back seat.
Yeah, she does.
And then she
They're definitely building up the kids.
but she's
more
like,
than-
I'll kill your son if you kill mine. Remember, she's like at the end.
Yeah.
Then she
That's
got
not
brought
for a
back
son.
for a like a minute or two.
Which I
Yeah.
didn't get that. Like she hated the son from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, that's
she hates Spider from the beginning.
Which I think
Yeah.
she learned to accept him at the end.
But I didn't get what the whole point of that was, because the whole point of the first movie was she wanted her tribe to accept a human,
Yeah,
and then now there's a human. She goes, "We can't trust humans."
she didn't. Yeah,
Where did that switch come from? I mean, I know the
I have
humans
no
like
idea.
betray them, but like the kid obviously loves the Na'vi culture. Like
Yeah.
Jake
'Cause
did,
he
like,
grew up
why,
there.
Like he's
Why
definitely
have
more
prejudice?
Na'vi.
Why,
What
why
was
have
the-
prejudice against
what
the
was
kid?
their
Yeah.
reasoning? They said if they brought him back when he was a kid, they brought him back to Earth, it would have killed him or something.
Yeah, they can't. Children aren't big enough to survive
The pressure.
the pressure from the sleep stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
From-
Oh,
'cause they put
cryo freeze.
Yeah, because he
Yeah.
cryo freeze him for years.
Yeah, he wasn't developed enough to really survive that. Or even if they did, I don't know if it was just cryo sleep or if they did like some like type of hyper jump. That still, he just wouldn't.
Yeah,
have
whatever.
survived the
Yeah,
trip.
whatever it was, the child's body's too small, and he was
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 at the time.
Yeah, so even
10,000
like,
parsecs.
Yeah.
It's
But
just,
even
sorry,
then-
I was making a Star Wars reference.
oh, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Is it 10,000 or is it's 10 something?
I thought it was 10,000 parsecs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the?
With the Millennium Falcon went through 10,000 parsecs.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
I
the
see.
hyper speed. Is that what they call
I
it?
forget what it is, but anyways, Avatar.
Avatar.
Let's talk about Spider. So
Spider.
is he's a human that was like on Pandora as a baby when the whole like rebellion happened,
Yeah, that wasn't.
and then
Because he was born on Pandora.
yeah,
Yeah,
he was
that
born
wasn't a
on
last
Pandora.
minute thought.
What?
That wasn't a last.
He wasn't
minute
even
thought
there.
for the
Yeah,
second
no.
He wasn't even there. Like
They
they
don't-
made it seem like he
Yeah.
was there during the first movie, but
I
he
did not
wasn't.
remember him there. I was like,
No, he wasn't.
this is a brand new character.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? He was there the whole time.
I think I remember a little kid,
Yeah.
human kid running around.
Yeah, and so like basically like they were saying earlier, he wasn't big enough to really make the journey back to Earth. So they just kept him on Pandora. And he grew up around the Na'vi because he grew up with the scientists instead of with the military. So he grew up more around the Na'vi, around Jake Sully's kids. He was like best friends with them. He learned how to speak their language, stuff like that. He even like ran around in a loincloth and like blue stripes
Yeah.
on him made of paint,
Yeah, the
which I
war
thought was
paint, yeah.
hilarious. But really he's the Colonel's son. The one who's hunting Jake Sully.
Yeah.
So when the Colonel first encounters all of the kids, Spider's there, and he realizes Spider's his son, and he's like, holy shit, you're my son. So Spider helps him find Jake Sully, but
Not intentionally.
not intentionally. He's
Yeah,
like,
no, he against his will.
yeah, against his will. He's like, you're gonna make me find him, but like, in the process, he was killing Na'vi right in front of Spider, and Spider was like, "What the hell? You know, these are my people, basically. Like, I grew up around these people."
Yeah,
These
he
are...
was using him as a translator.
Yeah, he was using him as a translator. He was telling him, like, tell them to do this, or I'll put a bullet through their head, or I'll kill this, or I'll kill that. And he's, like, burning all these villages, like, just killing random Na'vi and random animals around, just being an asshole. And Spider was like, stop, you know, I'll help you do it. Just stop killing people. And so eventually they found the Na'vi, and after the final fight, when the Colonel was about to die, Spider, for some reason, carried the Colonel out of there.
The reason he did is because the Colonel saved him from the mother. From What's-Her-Face?
Neytiri, yeah.
Neytiri, yeah.
Correct us if we're wrong about the name, by the way. I don't 100%
Yeah, so
I
the
think it's Neytiri.
Neytiri, yeah. So, yeah, because when she, like, out of nowhere, she grabs Spider, and she goes,
Yeah.
She like holds a knife to his throat.
and she goes, if you kill my son, I'll kill your son.
Yeah.
And the Colonel let her son go so that way he could live.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the Colonel was holding their kids hostage.
But even then, I still thought it was very dumb that he saved the Colonel.
Yeah,
I thought that was
I
dumb
would've
too.
been
Like,
yeah, that's dumb
what
as
was
hell.
the... And he didn't even... Like, okay, actually, at first I was kind of going with it because I was like, oh, the Na'vi almost killed him, so now he might have trust issue with the Na'vi, and he's going to join his father and fight the Na'vi. But then he saves the Colonel, says peace, goes back to the Na'vi, and doesn't even tell Jake that the Colonel's still alive.
Isn't
Yeah.
doesn't the Colonel do that thing where he's like, come with me, and then he's like does the thing where he hisses at him and then
Yeah,
runs away.
hisses.
He goes,
Yeah.
he goes,
He hisses at
and
him.
the Colonel's just kind of like, and he's they're like
He was
lifting him up.
Yeah, Colonel's like, alright, I'll see you around, bye.
Hey, peace.
Yeah, but I think the only reason I can see that happening is because they have 3 more movies lined up. So they're like,
Yeah,
they
it's,
don't
it's,
need-
it's literally just a plot point.
Yeah,
Every
it's
time they
literally
no
just
that
reason.
hiss thing,
line.
every time they did that hiss thing, it was so stupid. I laughed.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's more of a Na'vi thing, and then I guess he grew up around them, and he wants
Yeah,
to be
but
one
like
of them,
throughout the
so-
whole movie, every time they were like, it was like, Jesus.
Yeah, and then I didn't like the whole ending fight between Jake and the Colonel because I thought they were going to build up. Maybe because I had like these whole thoughts in my mind throughout the movie. Because early in the movie, the Water Na'vi tell Jake that he's learned nothing and that he's kind of failed them.
Yeah.
So my thought was at the end when they're underwater fighting, I'm like, oh, in the movie they have to learn how to hold their breath longer. I'm like, Jake's going to learn how to hold his breath longer, and the Colonel's going to drown because he's not used to it, and that's going to be what Jake learned. Like, which kind of visually show that Jake learned something.
Yeah.
But no, Jake just punches him underwater, and he goes floating down. And I'm like, well, then Jake really didn't learn anything.
Yeah. It would have been cool if, like, he did use one of his skills to kill him. Like, if
Yeah,
they had a whole
like-
showdown underwater.
And even then, it goes back to point because the Water Na'vi were like, you cannot kill anyone, even though they were killing people left and right.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
They were like, there's no justifiable reason to kill except for these people,
Yeah.
which was another thing I didn't like.
Yeah.
But
It was an interesting final, like, scene, because, like, you had... At one point, you thought everybody was going to die. Like, everybody was underwater about to drown. The only person who wasn't was
Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney Weaver's character, the teenager. And then she's the one who, like, she used those little glowing fish to find them and show them the way out. And she even used, like, the ones that you go on the back, which that didn't make any sense to me. Why wouldn't you just wear one of those at all times? If it, like, puts breath in your lungs. underwater?
Because we need an intense scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, the plot of this movie is very lacking for something that took 13 years to make. Like, it's not the worst plot I've seen, but like, there are a lot of things where I'm like, why did they do it this way?
Yeah.
That just bother me.
Because, like, I understand you want to do it on your own. You want to be able to hold your breath on your own. But if you have these animals that literally help you breathe underwater, like, unlimited...
Although, did they know about, like, or because Sigourney Weaver had to summon them, right?
No, somebody showed her. It was the daughter of the king. He showed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, she showed her the animal. She's like, "Oh, if you put this on your back, you can breathe underwater." She's like, "Well, why didn't you just do this?"
But
the whole
were
time?
they readily available at the time?
It was
No,
a
or-
weird squid
They were
things,
just
right?
yeah, they were just floating. They were just floating around. I think it was like, why wouldn't you just like befriend them and
Also,
then use them?
Can I the thing with Sigourney Weaver's character, the seizure things? What was that all? I don't like.
She's
I
having
think
seizures. She's connecting with the god.
she's connected with
Aya.
Awu.
Awa.
But they're like,
Ewa.
if she does it again, she's gonna die.
Well, I think she's just too connected to it. Where like it's
like-
kind of like
It's-
it's kind of
they-
like if her brain is half of this god, and she connects it, and the other half starts flooding her brain. then I'm assuming it's probably going to cause some issues because it's a whole
Yeah,
planet trying to just
but they-
infiltrate her tiny brain.
They had what was that guy's name? The human scientist,
I don't know, but I know who you're talking
The
about.
curly hair guy?
The tall, skinny one?
tall skinny one. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
So
in the first
yeah, because
one.
he was the one who kind of said that, they brought him in as a Navi, and they're like, hey, he pulls Jake and he goes, hey, she's having seizures, and this is why, because he was looking at it through a scientific perspective,
Yeah.
while on the other end, through the Navi perspective,
yeah, they got
it's more
mad
of like
at him.
because it's more of a spiritual connection. So it's like he's looking at it through science, but they're looking through spirituality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
that was an interesting contrast. Although that was that character's last scene. Like the last thing he says was, "You need a med pack," and we never see him again.
Yeah.
So-
And then like the mom comes in and I was like, I can do it. Whatever.
Karen
yeah.
comes in with her herbs,
Yeah.
her magic herbs.
Was it Kate Winslet or was it Zoe Saldana? I don't remember.
It was one or the other one. One or the other. They were both there, but I think it was the Kate Winslet character that actually like did the ritual to get her to wake up. But I think that's what they're like going for, right? Is that the older daughter is part Awu or Awa.
She has some sort of connection
Yeah.
to the god.
Yeah, and so they're probably like when she connects to Awa, it starts to infiltrate her brain, and like her body isn't strong enough to really hold all of that. So if she touches the ground or anything like that, that she starts to make connections with Awa, then she could die because it would basically like fry her brain. I'm only guessing this isn't like they actually said that in the movie. I'm only assuming.
It makes that's what I was thinking too. But like they didn't really develop that story a lot. Like there were a bunch of stories going on in this. Like we never even talked about the whale story.
Yeah.
I was waiting to bring that up for the appropriate
There
time
was quite.
What's the appropriate time to bring up the whale story?
after we reviewed the whale.
That was we already reviewed the whale. Chris.
What?
Video, Chris?
Was I there? No.
Yeah.
I hosted that
All right.
one.
The whales. Let's bring it up.
So Brendan Fraser's in this.
No. So in this movie there are
Are you okay?
Because I'm just imagining Brendan Fraser. Like a whole pack of Brendan Frasers instead of those whale things.
Just flopping around in the water.
He's
We
like,
talked about this last time.
I know, but it's
I think we talked about it during the whale review.
but it's still funny. And he's like, do you ever think people are capable of not caring? Aren't capable of... And he's just like, they're like, what?
What's going on right now?
I don't know.
I almost died.
Chris has his moments sometimes. Anyways, the
Oh.
whales. So there's a certain season on Pandora where these whales show up to the water navis.
What season is that?
area. I don't know. They don't say it, Chris. It's just a season. They say it's the season.
Season 8.
But they're like, oh, they're here, and those are my spirit guides or my spirit animals. So they like show up. They have a connection with the Navi, and they start like telling their life stories. They're like, oh, how's your kid? How's your kid? They start
Somehow
talking.
they can talk to each other.
Yeah,
I didn't get
it's-
that.
It was weird. I was like, I don't know how they do this. It's strange. And then I didn't know how the son was just able to automatically talk to them when he's never seen one before. Like, how do you know his language when you've never seen him before? He basically, like, the younger son finds one out in the middle of the ocean that saves his life from, like, alright, if James Cameron tells me that's not a shark, I'm gonna slap the shit out of him, because that was a shark.
It was a shark.
That was a shark. If he's
It
like,
was
that's
a-
not a shark,
It was
I'm
a
like, "It's
prehistoric shark.
Yeah, that was definitely a shark.
It was a space shark.
Yeah, James, come on, that was a shark.
Ocean
But
man.
basically, he was gonna get eaten by a shark, and then this whale came and ate the shark, and then he was like, "Oh, shit!" And then he like drowned, but he was saved by the whale. The whale like put him on his fin and like brought him up above water. And then it turned out that this whale was they called him the Rogue.
Yeah.
But it's basically because they thought that he killed a bunch of Navi and a bunch of other whales, but it turned out it was just because he just happened to be in a pack with Navi and other whales that were attacked by the Sky People.
It's always the
And
sky
so-
people.
Yeah, so they were all attacked by the Sky People. He was the only survivor.
He had
But-
the tracker in him.
yeah, he had the tracker in him, but he was the only survivor, and everybody else died. So when they found him, they found all the other bodies. They just assumed he did it. Which, how do you think this one whale killed all of these whales and all of these Navi
Well,
without even like?
He killed people at the end, so...
I mean, yeah, but
Well, you
like
can kill people, but like,
people, but, like,
the
there's
other
other
whales
whales.
are the same
Listen,
size.
they're people too.
there were like
The Navis,
20 or 30 other whales.
there were...
Like, how did the one whale kill all of these whales?
I know that... What was it? he
Was he bigger than the others? I forget if they said that.
I don't think so. I think he's around
He's
the
like
same
the same
size.
size.
They all look around the same size. I was like, how the fuck did that happen?
But that's where the new form of they call it unobtainium, which is like a stupid name.
Yeah,
And
so
it's,
that's the word. That's from the first movie.
yeah, but
That's the worst name ever.
they called it in the second one. It was a new form of unobtainium, which was like
It was their brain or something.
it was
right?
like something like matter from their brain or some liquid inside. Like they would kill the whale, go into the mouth, and like shoot something or drill a hole into like the top palate of the mouth.
Yeah.
And also all the blood would come out, and then they would extract something from like the brain.
What was it? It was like $800 million just for that one thing.
It
or
was
something
like a vial
crazy.
like this
Yeah,
big, and it was
said
like
some
yellow. It was like a
crazy-
nectar kind of like.
Yeah, and they were like, you
What?
kill this whole whale for that one little vial.
was like,
He's
yeah.
like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, then they said it was like worth like $800 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
He said one jar is worth like a couple like crazy money. Like
Yeah, it was like I thought it was like 80 million or 800 million.
It was
yeah,
something crazy like that.
Something crazy.
Which I don't know what inflation's like by then, but that's just,
Yeah.
that still seems kind of high.
I think it was supposed to be something like an anti-aging sort of.
Yeah, it stopped you
serum.
from aging.
It stopped you from getting old. But either way, it was just a weird thing. But that they also didn't continue with either. Like
They kind of just dropped. The whole whale storyline was just so that the whale could come in the end and help them.
Yeah.
And it's an identical copy of the first movie where how Jake Sully had to conquer the big flying beast. The son conquered the big swimming beast. Like
That's what I thought it was
and
going to be. I
Steven-
thought he was he was like one of those mystical creatures where if he conquered him, he would basically like run the sea ones, and then that's how he was going to become like the.
but he
the
didn't.
head
He didn't
honcho.
run, but he got a lot of respect from people for conquering it.
Yeah.
And then Stephen Lang conquered one of those big birds. Remember?
Oh, like
He
the,
like tamed it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
he
one
tamed
who's
one of
like-
the birds from the first one.
He's like, I could do it.
Yeah. Which was funny because they thought he died, and he was like, "Yeehaw!" He like came back up.
Yeah.
With his cowboy hat and everything.
Yeah.
I think Michael Rooker would play like a good version of that character.
Yeah, the guy who plays he plays
Yondu,
Yondu, right?
yeah.
He played alright, but I think this guy they have pretty down packed. Like I think he's pretty good.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, he the younger brother was the one who tamed the rogue, and I think at first they kind of gave him some shit for it because they were like, "Oh, why would you tame the rogue? Like, why would you talk to the rogue? He could kill you." And he's like, "Yeah, but he's not going to. Like,
He didn't. He
could have
saved
killed
him,
me.
yeah.
He saved me." And he told me his story. This is exactly what happened.
That
And they
was
were like, "No, it's lying."
The older brother or the middle? The
younger brother.
The younger brother?
Yeah.
The younger brother was one who found the whale. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was he the one that was always clashing with Jake? Or was that the older?
I think it was younger.
The younger was the one who was always clashing with Jake. The older one who was the one who always got
and Jake
shit
was
for
like,
it.
you're
Yeah.
grounded.
Yeah, he's like, "Why did you save your brother?" He's like,
You're grounded or whatever. He said it in the
What the
beginning,
hell?
and I was like,
If you make it to the end of this movie, you're so grounded.
"Yeah,
he brought in so much like culture from like Earth.
yeah." He definitely brought a lot of human culture into the Navi world.
Did they ground their kids before? He was like,
How do you
think so.
ground a Navi?
what did he say? He said no more flying for
Yeah,
like
he's
a
like-
week. He said no flying for a week.
I'm taking away your bird for a week. Like, no more war.
No more guns for a
swimming.
week.
Yeah. No more fighting for a week. No more war.
No more hair sex for a week.
Yeah, it's weird, dude. But I think
I didn't like that. I said that. I'd like to
yeah, that was weird.
I'd like to apologize.
yeah.
We'll upload the apology video after this.
That'll start with a
This video is gonna be hard to make.
single tear.
Yeah. But I think of all the characters, I think the younger brother, obviously, because the older brother now is dead, and the older daughter are going to be the two to really break out in the next movie. I think they're going to be the ones to sort of like take over the Navi, not take over, but definitely like become leaders. In
The
next
oldest
movie.
brother died, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
the oldest brother
died.
dies.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be like a jump start for the younger brother to sort of like step it up and take over. Not take over. I keep saying take over. I mean like become a leader, like lead his own pack or lead his own army like Jake did. You know, like lead the Navi or his own little like tribe of Navi to fight the Sky People. He might even like in the next movie I could see him sort of running away from his Navi people and like running away from his dad and going to like a separate Navi tribe and then coming in clutch at the end, like finding out his dad's in trouble and his dad's like, "Where have you been this whole time?" He's like, "Well, Dad, I brought this whole army and you're just like giving me shit right now. But I could see that happening in the next movie where he just kind of goes off on his own. They don't know where he is, but really he's just developing. Like he's becoming a leader of his own. Kind of like how Jake did, where he was kind of like he became like a leader of his own. He did all the things he needed to. Maybe he even finds like another one of those like mystical sort of animals that he needs to tame.
That's going to be another problem that I have. That they do that, because then it's just recycling the story. Like this movie was so much like the first one. And then if they do that again with the third, it's just gonna be another recycled film.
That's fair.
Like I want that Sigourney Weaver plot. That was the only like original idea that they had.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, they should definitely expand on her too. Like when they do the next movie. When we talk about
December 2024.
Yeah, they've signed on for 3 more movies.
And he said if they all go well, he would like to do more.
Yeah.
No, I thought they said like, you know, if Avatar 2 doesn't do well, which it's already done well, so it's gonna be a trilogy, yeah. But they're probably gonna do the plan was 5 movies, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said that he does have an idea for up to 7. So
yeah, I will say when we first left the theater, Anna said that she thought it would be like a whole saga, kind of like Star Wars, where there'd be like you know the main
like
movies,
prequels,
and then there'd be like prequels,
and
there'd be
sequels.
like spin-offs, sequels, stuff like that. And I was like, I don't see it being that big. I was like, maybe a trilogy. Because I didn't know they already signed up for 5 more.
Yeah, they're doing a whole bunch of stuff with this.
Yeah, and then when you guys said 5 movies, I was like, oh, maybe it will be a giant franchise like Star Wars.
The next movies are, what, like 98% done?
Yeah, I think they've
95%, yeah. With 9 hours of footage.
Yeah, they've...
Which I don't... Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
I don't know what 9 hours of footage means. Does that like mean like 9 hours of like story, or is that just like 9 hours of footage they have collectively, like them doing the same scenes but in different way? Like I don't know what 9 hours of footage means.
I don't see why they would like if you have not
like I don't even think James I know James Cameron likes to make his stuff long. I don't think he would actually make it 9 hours long.
Yeah, I don't see why they would have a 9-hour movie and then cut it down to at least like 3 hours. You're cutting out 60% of the movie, so like I can see them it being like 9 hours of like different takes of different.
Yeah, that's kind of thinking they have.
Yeah, and then they figure out which take. I'd say they probably break it down to like maybe 4, maybe 5, and then from there they'll start cutting scenes, like full scenes from the movie, until they get down to maybe like 3.
And they'll end up doing reshoots and
reshoots and.
Well, now they kind of got everything settled on what they want. Because now technology's up to date for what James Cameron wants. So
that's fair.
I don't think we'll be having big delay like 13 years gap like this one. I think we'll have a consistent schedule now.
Yeah. And I think my sister told me that they have 3 and 4 filmed already, and they're finishing up 5 this year. I think
they finished 3. They started 4.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So yeah, they finished 3. They started 4, and then 5 they haven't started yet. But I'm sure once 3 comes out, they'll probably finish 5 up. They'll probably have 5 like almost done. Either way, we get 3 more of these movies. So I'm kind of happy about that because I like it. I don't know about you guys.
I didn't care for the first one.
No, I didn't either.
And I cared even less for this one.
I liked it. Have you guys? So when you go to the theater, have you guys talked to like the manager? It's a weird question. But have you guys talked to like the manager?
No, I'm not like Karen.
No. The manager, whenever he sees me and Anna, he starts talking about movies. He's like last time we started talking about Halloween Ends. Or Halloween Ends, right?
That's the most recent one.
Yeah, he was talking about like how much it sucked. And in this one, we showed up to watch Avatar, and he goes, "Yeah, my friend watched it. He said it was 3 hours of just sleeping." And I was like, "Okay." And so we went into the movie. This was after we already bought our tickets. I was like, "Thanks for making this movie like great, guys." And then we went in to watch it, and we came out. I was like, "Dude, it was actually much better than you thought," because I don't think he had seen it yet. I was like, "It's actually much better. I thought it was really good." He was like, "Oh, maybe I have to watch it." I was like, "Yeah, we're coming back for the whale later, so we'll let you know how it is." But every time we come, he knows us now. We're like his regulars, and he's like, he starts talking to us about movies and shit, and I'm like, "Oh, sweet." Oh, but yeah, he's cool.
Well, we went to the IMAX theater in Manchester.
Yeah,
England. In England.
Yeah.
No,
I only saw it in digital because I didn't want to spend the extra money because I was like,
we did the 3D.
It wasn't worth it. I mean, it looked nice, but if I were to rewatch, I wouldn't rewatch it in IMAX or in 3D.
No.
Yeah, there are some movies where like you can tell it's probably a better experience in IMAX. Like Top Gun was obviously like XD.
Well, I assumed Avatar. I mean, Avatar was a better experience.
Yeah.
But for what they had, for what the movie was, it didn't make my opinion better of it.
Yeah, I thought Avatar was probably one of those movies where it would have been,
Yeah.
I didn't
Well,
watch. I only watched
since
it in
you liked it,
the
you probably would have a better experience with like
Yeah.
IMAX or through. But for me, it,
Yeah,
it wasn't
I-
worth it.
I feel you.
It was fun. But like I had a credit.
Mm.
So it ended up being like $2 or $3 to go.
Yeah, because I mean, you
'Cause-
just pay the surcharge for the IMAX.
Yeah,
upgrade.
for the IMAX, and so also it was 3D, so it was a little.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
an extra $1.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I think it was like $3 or $4 to see an IMAX.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was already going to see The Whale later on, so I didn't want to like spend
Yeah.
the extra money. Although, thank you again, by the way. Yeah, thank you. We went on my birthday to go see. Well, me and Anna went to go see Avatar on my birthday, and then we all went to go see
The Whale.
The Whale. And Chris paid for my dinner, thank you, and Drew paid for my tickets, thank you, for that. So these guys are great.
One of them was a good experience.
Yeah. Oh my god, did I tell you guys? I don't think I told you guys. After so I chose the dinner spot. I chose Golden Corral.
Never again.
Yeah. Because I thought it was delicious until 2 in the morning when I was throwing it back up in the
Were you?
Yeah.
Were you?
I threw it up. I was like, it was so bad coming back up because I was like,
You ate like
I ate a lot. To be fair, I was high. So when you're like, I don't know, do you smoke at all or get high at all?
Not normally,
Okay. When you're high and you're eating,
and
it
not
doesn't
off of
feel- you don't feel
marijuana.
shit.
What?
Yeah, when you're high and you're eating, you barely feel it. Like
a
you don't
joke.
feel as like full as you would if you weren't high.
Yeah.
Like I've gotten high, went home, made an entire pot of mac and cheese, an entire bag of Tyson like chicken tenders,
Well, you had
and I ate the
more.
whole thing. Huh?
You had more. After?
No, he's
No,
using
I'm
that as an
saying, like,
example.
yeah, that's
Oh.
an example.
Yeah.
I
Back
just think
when
you
I
had
was in
more when you got
college-
home, and I was like, well, no wonder you threw up.
No, the summer after the summer after high school is when I started smoking, and I got high when I went home. I made a whole pot of mac and cheese and a whole bag of
I one
Tyson chicken
time-
nuggets.
I one time had like
It was
2 McChickens, and then I had a large fry and a large milkshake, and I threw up later that night.
I got high and I went to McDonald's and I asked the guy. I was like, "Do you know what a McGangbang
Not because I was
is?"
high, just because I was,
He was
gross.
I'll make what?
A McGangbang? Do you know what that is?
No.
I've heard.
It's a McDouble with a McChicken inside of it.
Oh my god.
I went up to the guy and I was like, "Do you know what that is?" He was like, "Yes." It's not an actual menu item, but if you buy a McChicken and a McDouble, I can make it for you. I was like, "You're the man." Not realizing I could have just bought it and made it myself. But I asked him, and he actually made one for me. I was like, "Thank you, man. I loved it."
It's so gross.
Dude, it's delicious. Are you kidding me?
No, the gross
Oh.
ones when you put the fillet fish in there.
That's gross. Yeah, the filet of fish is gross.
There's one where you
Oh.
put the McDouble, the fillet of fish, and
Yeah.
the McChicken.
Oh no,
But I think,
it's like surf and turf.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
I think they
gross,
call them McSurf and Turf.
Oh, that's gross.
Remember, McDonald's did have a surf and turf menu at one
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
remember-
I think that's what it was.
Yes.
Oh, it was that. I remember because
Yeah.
I remember it was like a few years ago.
It was like a TikTok trend,
It was a few
and
years
then
ago.
McDonald's actually put it on the menu.
for like a limited time, and I was like, that just sounds gross. I'm good.
And I get-
McDonald's still has the McGangbang like in the menu. They just don't call it the McGangbang.
Well,
It's
yeah,
the-
I don't think they can. They
Yeah,
can
I
I
call
don't
it.
think they. What is it?
it's a 2 for $4. It's like the McChicken, the McDouble. You can have the 2 for $4.
Yeah, but they don't put it together.
No, but you can put it.
And they don't call it that
They
because
don't call it
They don't call it that because
there's,
of the
there's
name.
gonna be a lot of there's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
PR
Oh,
issues.
they
if
just on the menu the McClusterfuck.
Yeah. So
The Mick fuck me up.
yeah.
The Mick shit your brains out.
But yeah, Golden Corral was not a good idea that night.
Yeah.
I
Is
did
that like a
end up
global
crying.
chain or is it like
it's a global.
just?
It's
It
a
is.
national chain, at least national. Yeah.
I used to
I'm
love
so
going.
sorry.
I didn't
To
realize they
anyone
had
that's ever
one.
eaten there.
I didn't know they had one here. So every time I'd go down to
You did?
Florida, I would go to the because
You-
it was like my favorite spot.
It was right in spring. It was right near us.
Yeah,
I was, like,
but
always-
before I met Anna, I had never been out of like Holyoke, Chicopee, and like Springfield, where MGM is. I've never been around it. Well, I just really triangulated our location.
Yeah, they're gonna like post.
They'd be like, "Oh my
They-
god, they're somewhere in this tri-state area."
You can beep that out though. Or it doesn't matter, whatever.
doesn't
But you're.
matter, man.
I remember
Who's
now you're
gonna
doing
come
what I
around
used to
and
do.
We haven't given out the exact address we're at. These are 3 huge.
16 Pennsylvania Avenue.
That's
Why
not
would
even the
you
right.
give out his
That's not even
That's
the right.
not even the right address.
It's 1600.
It's 1600. That's the White House.
Oh yeah, Washington D.C.
This is the we're in the.
We're recording the White House.
You can put the
Show
inside
the
of the
White
white, like the Oval Office behind.
You can do that.
Yeah, Chris, you can edit this one because you can do
It
that.
was a joke. We don't have to do that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do now. We have to, and now you have to edit. I'm kidding. I'm editing this one.
I thought I was editing this one.
I can.
I thought I was editing
I
it.
can take it. Drew has been great with editing. He's edited like our last 5 videos on his own.
Have I?
I know you edited a couple of them before we stopped last year because I was in the real estate class. So you edited a couple of them.
Yeah,
before.
like 2 or 3. Yeah.
Yeah, and you edited our last one, Black Panther, and you edited this one,
When did
the whale and the glass onion one.
Yeah, I did this last. Well,
Yeah.
I haven't done the video. Is the video on the drive? I don't think it was on the drive yet.
Oh, it's in the camera. We can take it out.
Oh yeah,
before I
yeah.
leave.
Yeah. So
But-
then that one will be done once I just
Yeah.
combine those. But
But Drew has been like, bottom line, Drew has been great with editing and everything. I really appreciate him.
thanks.
And Chris has also been great with like thumbnails.
And I've edited a few
Yeah,
videos.
he's edited a few.
I'm gonna learn how to
So I
do green
appreciate you
screen,
guys.
and then I'll do some other one.
Yeah, I'm gonna start picking up the pace with editing. Like,
But-
we can start editing a couple nights a week.
Thumbnails are fun though.
Yeah, thumbnails are pretty fun to make. I'm not great with Photoshop, but whenever you guys send a new thumbnail, I start cracking up. It's the funniest thing. I'm like, what are they gonna do next?
We had our big like thing with the Wakanda one. I was like, how am I gonna like do the face stuff? Cause like I didn't really feel comfortable doing that. But then I also realized it wasn't that big
we're
of a
talking
deal.
about this now.
Yeah, probably not on camera. We could talk about this behind the scenes, Chris.
Was there
But it looks good.
last video before that? Really, it was 4 months like before that.
Yeah, it's been a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
Because
Where the crawdads sing.
It was September when I took the class, but I think it was August when I was like trying to study for the class to get a
Yeah,
head start.
we did a like top 10 movies of the year so far list,
Yeah, and
but
then
like
we
something
didn't-
got screwed up with the audio, and I was like struggling for hours trying to
Yeah,
sync it. So
I
sorry
think for
about
that one, what we can do is we can wait until like the Oscar nominees are said, and we can like talk about that as well as other movies that we thought were really good in the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this year we'll actually do like a top 5 in the summer, and then we'll do a top 10 at the end of the year this year.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's a little bit late for us to do like a top 10 of the year. Well, not a late, but like I think with me still studying for real estate and like we're all pretty busy, I think we can do just like we can mix it in with the Oscar video.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we could just do like a. We'll talk more about this after. Anyways,
Yeah.
back to Avatar.
Back to.
Anything else that you guys wanted to talk about in Avatar?
I mean, I don't know. There are a couple of things I wish they did different. Like, the whole time I was kind of thinking that this, like I keep saying, the story. I felt the story was completely off in this.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't like that they immediately told us how the Colonel was back.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it would have been a cool idea where, like, we have the, Virgin Mary birth of, Sigourney Weaver's character, how they don't know how she came. And then it would have been cool if, like, out of nowhere, the Colonel shows up as a Na'vi.
Mm.
And then, like, Jake and the others trying to figure, like, hey, how come, like, these random humans are coming up as Na'vi?
Yeah.
And then as it goes on, they found out it's actually no connection to Awa for the Colonel, but it's actually connection to, like, the humans.
Yeah.
So I thought that would have been, like, a cool concept if they, like, we didn't know why it was happening, because we knew why. And that kind of, like, took away from the mystical part of it.
Mm.
And also, they don't really, like, Jake doesn't really have, like, a shock moment of seeing him back.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that,
He just
your
kind of looks
sworn
at him.
enemy.
Yeah. They just
Yeah.
kind of look at each other and they're
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah. I did think one clever thing that they did, I thought, was the language, where he was talking about, like, it's been so long, it almost feels like they're speaking English now, and then everybody just started speaking English.
I
was like, that's kind of clever because, they have people, it's basically like his first language now is Na'vi.
Yeah.
But it's also
Well,
weird
you-
because you have people like the Colonel who come in, and, like, how is he already starting to speak
Will
Na'vi?
you remember in the first one they talked about how Sigourney Weaver's character in the first one,
Hmm.
she like set up like schools in Pandora originally, and she helped them learn English.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So,
no,
like
that's
when
not- that's not
when
what the
Jake
movie
first
was doing,
got there,
though.
they knew.
Well, no,
English.
what happened though was when Jake says, speaking Na'vi is almost like speaking English. Then they start speaking English because they're still speaking Na'vi, but like we're hearing it's English because that's how
Yeah.
Jake is interpreting it.
Yeah.
He's basically talking about like how he's been speaking Na'vi for
So they're
so
not
long.
really speaking English.
No, it's just like the
I think that's a fine transition because like a lot of people don't like reading subtitles.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like they spent years making this language, and now they're just kind of throw out the window for the second movie
Yeah.
and for every movie going forward.
They did do
I don't-
some of like
It took
subtitle
like,
stuff.
Yeah, but it took them like 10 years to make the language though.
Well, and they also
think-
had someone develop like sign language, like Na'vi sign language.
For the underwater stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was in Baby Driver. They what's his name? Ansel Elgort, his like the deaf roommate. He developed.
Okay.
I saw it. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah. I thought it was interesting, like the sign language too, because like you would think, how are they gonna speak underwater? But I also thought, like, why didn't the water people like find a way? Why don't they just evolve in a way where they can like make vibrations underwater? But also, I guess it's just not as important because they're
Yeah, I didn't
well,
have any issues. I didn't have any
anyways.
issues with that.
Yeah,
Maybe you can make the next Avatar movie, Kevin.
dude, James Cameron, hit me up. I'll make the next Avatar.
No, he said what did he say? Something like I could do a master class and you still wouldn't be able to make an Avatar
Yeah.
movie.
We'll scrap all 9 hours, and then I'll just start from the beginning. I'll make everything. I got you. I'll start from the script right now.
Yeah, he said
Yeah,
I
I'll
I
make
could
it.
teach the best person in the world to how I made these movies and I still wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, when we first went, I was telling Anna
He's
that, like,
cocky.
I was trying to explain to Anna who James Cameron was. I was like, just think of any, like, fantasy sort of sci-fi movie, and he's most
Avatar.
likely made it. Any, like, huge fantasy sci-fi movie, he's probably made it.
Terminator
there's
1 and 2.
Avatar, Terminator.
1 and 2, right?
He's only directed
Yeah,
like 8 or 9
Aliens.
movies.
I know, but, like, it's crazy because he's kind of like Tarantino, where, like, there's 8 or 9 movies, but they're all, like, huge movies. Like, there's Titanic, there was
Aliens.
Aliens,
Aliens,
which is, like, arguably the better of the Alien movies.
Of the original.
The first 2 Terminators.
The first two
Two
Terminators,
Terminators,
he
yeah.
made Avatar. Like, that's already 4 movies out of his, 9? And those are, like, the 4 biggest movies in
Some of the
sci-fi.
biggest movies of all time.
Yeah, in sci-fi fantasy. Yeah, exactly, even of movies of all time. And, like, he's just huge. He just makes great movies. He knows how to make, like, a good fantasy world. He's like, I don't know, he's like Tarantino, where
He only did
every
the-
movie he
yeah.
makes is, like, an event.
He only did the first Titanic, not Titanic 2.
Yeah. Which, by the way, Tarantino, I heard him in a podcast talk about, like, his next movie a little bit. And he was like, I'd love to do, like, a Kill Bill 3. And I was like, oh, yes.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
Because he was like, I'd love Maya Hawke to be in it, and
Well-
her and Uma Thurman be, like, back-to-back, like,
He's-
fighting crime.
Yeah,
fighters.
he said something about, like, I think, what's her name? Chloe Grace Moretz, too. I heard him say something about her.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But that's all. Sorry, I just want to get to that just a little bit. We should do, like, some episodes where we just talk movies. Because, like, we can
Yeah.
talk hours for movies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that. Like, a slow week where there's not a lot. Because, like, from right now through, like, Ant-Man, I don't know of any other big...
Megan.
Megan. You want to watch Megan?
God, it looks so stupid.
No.
I'm going to see it.
What? Yeah?
Yeah.
We're gonna... I think
I'll
me and Anna are
probably
going to
see
see
it.
I'm
it.
going to see it in IMAX 3D.
Megan looks terrible.
I'll
If I'm
probably
being honest. I don't
see it, but it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It's from James Wan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he produce it or direct?
He's producing it.
The last
but
Conjuring movie wasn't good, so
no,
he didn't do that
he
one.
produced that one.
Yeah,
they're making another movie in the Conjuring universe soon.
they're making it's a whole
They-
universe. They're doing
Yeah,
like
they're doing a Conjuring 4, I think.
Well,
They're
will this be
supposed to.
Conjuring 4? Or this actually be Conjuring 3?
Well, Conjuring 3 was the
devil
made
Was
made
it,
me
into
do it.
because there was Conjuring, then there was Conjuring 2, and then this one's just
Oh.
called Conjuring the Devil Made Me Do It. Like almost like a
I don't
spin off,
know.
even those same characters.
That would be weird. I don't know. That's interesting. It might be a Conjuring 3. And there's actually 4 movies, and the 3 is actually the 4th one, and the 3rd one is this. That'd
Then
be a
there's
weird, like-
Malignant.
Oh, Malignant, yeah.
That was. Did you ever finish that one?
No.
That one-
The
That-
first, like,
that
10
one
minutes
is-
scared the shit out
that
of me.
one was
I like,
funny.
I can't do it.
I thought it was really funny.
I don't think it was good.
Like it starts off as like a horror film in the beginning,
Hmm.
and then like halfway through,
Is it
it
like
just turns
inten-
into like this action comedy.
Is it like intentionally an action comedy or no?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And you know that movie I want to see? Was it The Invitation?
Yeah,
It's
we
on
watched it.
Netflix.
Yeah, it's
now.
on Netflix. Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
watched it in
heard,
theaters. It was good.
Was it good?
It was alright. It was
I heard,
just
I heard
like
mixed
a-
things on it.
I thought it was going to be a different movie. I didn't realize. Like, do you guys know what the actual, like...
I
plot
thought.
is?
Yeah, I know what the plot is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be different. I thought it was going to be cannibals. But it wasn't. Spoiler alert, it's not cannibals. I don't want to tell you what it actually is. Go watch The Invitation. It's not bad. That's Zazie Beetz, right?
Zazie Beetz, I
Yeah.
think.
I keep
She
getting
Domino
her.
in Deadpool 2, and she's in
Yeah.
Joker.
She did
Yeah.
something else recently too, right?
Was she?
Maybe not.
I think she is.
Is
I
she
keep
going to be in the
mixing
next
her and,
the new Deadpool movie?
I don't know.
She might be on it. I keep mixing her and who's the other one?
The one from Batman.
Yeah. What's her name?
No, Zoe Kravitz.
I keep mixing
That's
those two
Lenny
up.
Kravitz's daughter.
I keep mixing those two up. For some reason. I keep thinking Lenny or Zoe Kravitz is Zazie Beetz, and I keep thinking
Lenny
Zazie
Kravitz
Beetz
as
is Zoe Kravitz.
as Catwoman.
Yeah. But it's weird because they're each in like the Batman and the Joker movies.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Great.
probably why you do that.
yeah, that's probably why. But
Yeah, there really isn't anything until
Yeah, there's nothing really until
Until Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. That's in like March, right?
when?
March, April.
When is M Night Shyamalan's new film?
Oh,
That
that's
comes out in
gonna be
January. Yeah,
out.
that's
Is
gonna
that
be-
January or is it
That's
February?
actually
It's-
early. I think it's early February.
Early
It's like
February?
February 1st or
Alright.
something.
I'm interested in seeing
It looks
Yeah.
like it could be a disaster.
because but apparently it's based off a really popular like book.
see
Probably.
what's
Me and Anna are actually going to see A Man Called Otto. So if you guys watch it, we could do an episode on that. It's
Man
based
Called
off a
Otto.
book.
Yeah, I've heard about. I'm not sure how it looks, but people really like the book.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
called
it's
like A
really,
Man
really
Called
good book.
Ov. I think they just changed the name.
Yeah. She was telling me it's about like an old
I know
grumpy
what's
guy
right,
who
yeah.
gets reformed, and I was like, well, if you have
My
anybody
mom
to play
loves
an
it.
old grumpy guy who gets reformed, it's Tom Hanks.
My mom loves the book. I asked her, I said, "Is the book funny?" And she said kind of, but it's also like pretty serious. She said you have to read it.
Yeah. I might read it before, but I don't know. We'll see.
I don't think it's very long.
Probably not, but it's also like
That comes out.
What comes out?
subtle art of not giving a fuck.
What is that?
Oh, I
I
think
have
I've seen
no
the
clue.
trailer.
Oh, I
for
saw
that.
something about that.
I don't remember exactly.
What
it was.
website are you on for movie releases?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Megan comes out Friday, and so is Man Called Otto. So we can
We can do
We
a
can do
double
The Man Called
feature.
Otto.
Yeah,
And then in the meantime, actually, between A Man Called Otto and Ant-Man, if there's nothing else really
we can
that's
see
coming
Megan.
out, no.
should we do an Oscar prediction?
Yeah, we can do like other videos like that, like the Oscar predictions. We can
Oh.
do we can do a knock at the cabin. I don't know if we'll actually. We might. Go
We can like come up with the list of categories and then put our picks in,
Yeah.
or what we think is being nominated.
Well, I was thinking we could do like when they release the nominations, we could talk about it and what we think is gonna win.
We could do the same thing.
Yeah, because like
When do they release that in February, right? Because then it's in
at some
March.
point, I don't know. It might be. Yeah, I think March is when they actually finish it.
Yeah. Nothing really is coming out.
Yeah.
So
there's
we can
not
do
much
A Man
from now
Called
until
Otto.
then. A Man Called Otto and the Knock at the Cabin are the only two that I can really think of.
We'll do those two, and then
Yeah.
in between, I guess we'll.
And if somehow we all end up seeing Megan, we could do that.
Oh, I'm not gonna.
I'll probably see because it just looks bad,
No, I'm not gonna waste my.
and I like seeing bad
Well,
movies.
I guess if you and I want to just do Megan just for the
Yeah.
content.
Yeah, you guys can definitely do Megan on your own.
What if it's just Megan from Drake and Josh? Megan.
Megan. Yeah, I can't afford to waste my money
Dude,
on
we
bad
should
movies anymore.
get
Sorry.
Josh Peck on that podcast.
We should get Josh Peck.
Josh Peck.
Josh Peck.
Josh Peck.
Josh Peck. Josh.
Josh, there you go.
He was in Red Dawn. Red Dawn was really good, I thought.
What's Red Dawn?
You haven't seen Red Dawn with him and Chris Hemsworth?
Was that
It's about the when,
It's a remake of the 80s movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
oh,
about,
oh,
like,
yeah. I know,
we
right? I haven't
basically
seen
get
the remake. No,
invaded.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, we get like invaded and they form like a rebel sort of. Did you break his coaster? And we're back. So,
Sorry, I broke a
Sorry.
coaster and then the camera stopped.
he broke a coaster. My camera's been
Not on
weird.
I didn't break the the part on the bottom
The
fell
cork
off.
part at the bottom. That's
No,
supposed
just
to
the
provide-
pad.
It's a
It's a
cork, it's
cork
almost like
pad.
it's a cork texture.
I picked it
Yeah.
up and it fell off,
He picked it up. He broke Drew's coaster. Chris has no.
and now I feel bad.
Yeah, he has no sympathy for anybody else.
No, I don't feel bad.
You're fine.
Yeah, you're,
Damn
you're
it.
fine. It's
No,
all
I
right.
know. Okay.
All right, this is gonna be a wonder to like edit because the camera, the like. Other
Yeah,
thing.
am I
It's gonna be
doing
great
this?
to edit. No, I'll edit it.
Your next
I'll just have some
your
fun
like
with it.
birthday or Christmas gift, I'll get you a coaster.
Okay.
When's your birthday?
My birthday?
You don't have to tell us exactly which day. Which month?
Last month.
December?
November?
When was it?
Now we get into the day.
December 25th.
No, not December.
He's
He's not.
Jesus.
Jesus. No, I actually have a couple of friends who were born on. December
My
25th.
cousin was born on Christmas.
My uncle and my friend Sean were born on December 25th, and
Oh,
our friend
happy
Caitlin was born on 24th.
happy belated birthday to them.
Yeah. We'll
Happy
talk about the
birthday.
day later because I can't believe I missed your birthday. I'm sorry. about
That's
that.
fine.
Did I say happy birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all
Did I?
did.
Yeah.
There were too many last month. There was
Yeah,
like
they're
6
all,
of them.
yeah, everyone's born in December.
Mine
Everyone's
too.
born in December. You know why? Because it's 9 months from St. Patrick's Day and everybody's Irish.
Yeah.
So they're all
Mine's
like,
in
"All right,
December.
we're gonna have
Kevin, mine's in
birthdays."
December.
Is it?
No,
it's not. You're a
it's
liar.
not.
It's not.
I was like,
You're
you're
in
a
like
liar.
August or something, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm August.
You're August?
I'm the last. Well, this is gonna give it away. I'm the last day of Leo. Literally the last day.
Nice, nice.
I
I
share a
think-
birthday with James Corden.
I think I'm like right on the cusp of Sagittarius. Like
Yeah.
mine is right before the end of Sagittarius, or right at the beginning of Sagittarius. One or the other. I don't know.
At,
Okay.
at the end, because that's
Yeah.
how I am.
Congratulations.
Because I remember I had a coworker once who asked me like what sign I was, and I told her I was Sagittarius, and she asked me what my birthday was, and I told her, and she was like, "Oh, you're like right in between Sagittarius and whatever was after. I forget what the other one is."
I don't believe any of that stuff.
I don't really follow zodiac stuff.
Yeah, me either. I just know I'm a Sagittarius. The only thing I believe is that Sagittarius are very alert about what's around them. Because I remember somebody told me that, and it like opened my eyes, and I was like,
this?
yeah, no, not like that. But like when I walk into a room, I know where everybody is. I know what's around me.
I have no clue.
I'm very aware of my surroundings when I walk into a room. So that's I don't know if it has anything to do about being a Sagittarius, but I remember somebody telling me that, and I was like, oh, it makes kind of some sense, I guess.
Something vibrated.
Might be my phone. It was my phone. Yeah. And then I are actually going to go see Puss in Boots after this. We're
Okay.
Go
You're
to
gonna
the cinema. Huh?
What?
Me and Anna are going to take turn to go see Puss in Boots after this.
Oh,
I
nice.
might see it. I'll let you know if I catch it. What time?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We probably won't sit next to you guys because
yeah,
she's.
that's yeah. No,
Yeah. We'll
I don't even know if we're going, but
Yeah. If you do, we might see you guys there.
Yeah.
Anyways, final part of the video. Last thoughts. What do you guys think? Any last thoughts?
I remember what I put on
I mean,
Letterboxd.
not the worst movie I've seen. Definitely not even close to the top 10 worst of the year for me. It's a fine experience if that's what you're into. For me, it was kind of underwhelming, especially with how long it took for it to come out. Overall, I'd give it like a 2.5 out of 5.
I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought, it's a fun new world that we can sort of explore. We've only explored it once before, but like now we have a second one where we have more reference. I think in the next movies they're going to explore more biomes and more different tribes of Na'vi. Hopefully we'll get like a desert Na'vi or like a I don't know, like a cold, like snow tundra sort of Na'vi, or like a rainforest Na'vi. Who knows? We'll get like a bunch of different types of Na'vi throughout the movies, and then I think the fifth one will be just kind of like all of them fighting the Sky People once and for all. Like, get the hell out of here. But final thoughts. I enjoyed it. I'd say my Letterboxd score is probably like a 4 out of 5. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I gave it a 2.5. I again, like Drew said, I didn't think it was the worst thing, but I also just felt that it was basically it was like the first movie, but with water, and I don't know. There wasn't enough in it for me to be like, wow, this is cool. I want to watch this again.
Yeah, I would never watch this movie again.
No.
I would.
I might rewatch the original one, even though I don't really like it that much. But this one, I couldn't sit another 3 hours.
I might watch both before the next one comes out.
Yeah, it just felt long.
Yeah. I will say though, before we finish this, Zoe Saldana must be making some big bucks.
Yeah, because
she has like 3 of the biggest grossing movies of all time.
Pretty soon 4.
Yeah, pretty soon 4. She has both Avatars and Endgame and Infinity War. She was in all 3 of those.
Guardians, didn't they make over $1 billion each?
Yeah, and she's in Guardians. Like, I don't know how much, because it's a huge ensemble. I don't know what percentage of like the box office she gets of any of those. But Avatar, she's like the top 2 characters. She must be making bank off the 2 Avatar movies, and then whatever she makes from all the Marvel movies, and then any other movies that she makes. She's also making a lot of money. She's probably like one of the richest actors out there right now, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
Which is probably why you don't see her in a whole
Ryan
lot,
Reynolds,
because
too.
she's just, you don't see her in a lot of things, but everything she's in is huge.
Yeah.
It's like Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is also pretty rich. Josh Brolin, my God.
What was the last thing he was in?
I don't know, but the year that he made Endgame,
He did what?
Deadpool 2 came out?
Yeah,
No,
and
that was
Sicario.
Infinity War came out the same year.
Oh,
Well,
Infinity
and
War.
Sicario, right? The last Sicario movie.
I think so.
But that one wasn't that good from what I heard.
But
I
he's
don't know.
like,
But he made that was a great year
are
for
they gonna
him.
make another one? Another Sicario? Because how many are there?
I think
There's 2.
There's 2.
I've
Yeah.
never
I
seen
still
either
haven't
one,
seen
but-
them. Yeah, I want to watch them though. I've seen like a couple clips. I've heard Benicio del Toro is like terrifying in them.
I've only seen the clips, but they're like apparently brutal.
Yeah, I saw a couple clips and they were terrifying. I was like, holy shit, I gotta watch this. But yeah, those are our final thoughts on Avatar.
Yeah.
The next movie coming out that we're probably gonna make a review on might be A Man Called Otto. It could be Puss in Boots if you watch it too, or if you guys watch
I am
it.
interested now that like I've been seeing all the good things that I'm really interested.
People are saying it's better than like all the Shrek movies.
Well,
Yeah.
Chris Stuckman. I don't know if any of you guys watch.
Yeah.
I think you do, right?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
let's advertise other YouTubers.
I know Chris Stuckman said like he went in with like little to no expectations. Kind of the same thing when like the Lego movie came out, and then Into the Spider-Verse. Is that because this is Across.
Yeah.
And he said he went in and it blew him away. And he said it's probably one of the best animated films in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is much of a spoiler, but people said this is like Shrek's version of Logan.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I really want to see it though.
I think they're trying to say Shrek is like X-Men, where it's like everybody, but like Logan is like that one standoff that's like amazing.
Yeah. Well,
And,
well
like,
but you know what? Do you know the plot is of this one?
I do.
yeah, kind of. It's like he's on his last life. So
Yeah.
he doesn't
Yeah,
wanna, like,
he's trying to find that thing so he can wish his lives back.
yeah. I think I know what you mean by that. I'll tell you after.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, but
Yeah.
I kind
And
of.
I'm sorry if I ruined it for you.
No, it's okay.
I
I
like
assumed by the trailer it might happen.
when I first started seeing trailers for this, I was like, oh, this just looks dumb.
Yeah, it looked dumb.
Yeah.
Like
it looks dumb.
but then I started hearing all these incredible things, and I was like, I want to see it.
Yeah, and like the animation
should
style
see
seemed
it.
very
You know what?
like
Are you gonna go with them?
I want to see it now.
the animation style seemed very like choppy. Like
Well, that's
like,
what like Into the
I've seen it.
Spider-Verse. You watch it, it's
Kind
like Chris Stuckman said it reminded me of that, but it like almost goes through like different animation styles in the whole movie. Like it
Yeah.
switches. It's
I'm
almost like 2D but 3D at the same time.
Yeah, I'm excited for Across the Spider-Verse. When does that come out? That's early this year, I think. Or
Is
like,
it earlier? That was like summer.
It might be summer. I don't remember.
Let me look it up.
But yeah, our next movie we're gonna review. It might be Puss in Boots. It might be A Man Called Otto. It might be A Knock at the Cabin.
Who knows?
It's
Who knows?
June 2nd.
So it is summer. Know that if it is Megan, I'm not gonna be in it. you guys can do Megan.
Then we'll have to do
Yeah.
We'll do Megan.
You guys can have like a guest on.
I'll
for
do
Megan.
that. I'll edit.
You let it, Megan.
You'll let in Megan?
Good luck.
All right. You guys can have Emily on for Megan if she watches it with you guys.
Maybe.
I won't do Megan. But it might be any of those movies. Expect a sort of like Oscar prediction type movie or video.
Yeah, well,
Shortly after,
they're going to
hopefully.
announce the Oscar nominees at the end of the month, like
So-
on January
Yeah.
27th, I think.
So shortly after they announce them, hopefully we'll have a prediction
Yeah.
video, or we'll film it at least. We
we're
might
not-
not have it
I
out
thought
right
we were
away.
going to do like a prediction of who's going to get nominated first, and then do our
We
like,
could do that.
winner predictions.
We can.
Oh,
If that would make sense. Like, hey, I want these movies to be nominated. I
That's
hope
fair.
these movies get nominated.
We could do that, and then we'll just have the prediction for the Oscars
Yeah, and then
when we do the Oscar video.
yeah,
Like,
like
this is what got nominated. We
or
can
like-
talk about it.
yeah, like we do the predictions of who we think's going to win. What after the nominations come out, and also do our top tens.
Yeah,
I like
that.
didn't really get around to this year, but seeing a lot of like the indie films that came out, or like the foreign films. I mean, I saw RRR.
That's a good one.
That's really cool. It's on Netflix still, right?
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
so-
it. I have to watch it.
That's
should watch
it's really like cool.
There's a lot from the Golden Globe nominations I have to watch. Like I still have to watch
I have to-
Tar.
Tar's.
Oh,
I
I
want to see
still have to
Tar.
watch
That's Kate Blanchett, right?
Yeah,
I've heard
Yeah.
she's like incredible in it.
yeah. She's up for. People are going to think she's up for the Oscar.
But don't
Yeah.
a lot of the movies that are nominated for Golden Globes also get nominated for Oscars?
It makes sense. I mean,
Kind of.
those
Yeah,
are,
well,
like-
yeah, they're like the same critics
Yeah.
that like vote on it.
It's
Those
the
are, like, the two
Associated
biggest-
Press.
They're similar. They're not all the same.
Is it
but,
the
like,
AP?
similar.
They're like
I'm
the
not
two
sure.
biggest like award things for like movies. So I would assume it's kind of the same. You know.
Yeah. I'll have to see what they already came out with those, right? The nominations.
Yeah, they came out. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
maybe we should do a Golden Globes video.
Can we?
Yeah.
What is?
We can do a Golden Globes one, like who we think is gonna win, and then we could also kind of do the same video, do like who we think is gonna be nominated for the Oscars, because we can do like the Golden Globe one easily.
Yeah.
Um,
We should probably wrap this one
yes,
up.
we'll wrap this one up. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all of our links. Have we been putting the links in the videos?
I've been.
Okay, I'll have to copy and paste them from some of our old videos with this one.
Oh, it's on their website.
I'll put our videos, or I'll put our links in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to, like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed our new green screen. Thank you,
Yeah, hopefully it works.
Yeah.
Drew and brother of Drew, for providing this. And we will see you in the next one.
See ya.
See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.
Later.